This week on Vegas Nation Game Day, we get you set for the Titans game, a pivotal game in the Death Star this week, with the Raiders welcoming #1 overall pick Cam Ward to Vegas.
He made a couple really good seam throws throughout the year. Has real good command of the offense for a rookie in terms of the check system they're using.
The Raiders with a chance to pick up a much-needed win against a team coming off of its first Vegas Nation Game Day. The Week 6 edition starts right now.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Hello, welcome into Vegas Nation Game Day. I'm your host, Dominic Lavoie. So it's a big opportunity for the Raiders this Sunday. Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans are coming to town. Now, this team is coming off of their first win of the year after their #1 overall pick called the team quote-unquote bad, to put it in PG terms. Now, to get his outlook on this game, we tag in Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignore for his vision.
Officially, the Raiders are playing the Tennessee Titans on Sunday at Allegiant Stadium, but unofficially, and in reality, they're actually playing against themselves, because I'll tell you what, the Raiders' worst enemy this year have been themselves, and what they're learning is that they can't beat the opponent and themselves at the same time. It's just not sustainable, not doable, and that's part and parcel with all the mistakes that the Raiders have made, whether it's 9 interceptions, a league high by Geno Smith, punts getting blocked, field goals getting blocked, kickoff returns, long kickoff returns, a punt return for a touchdown. Mistake after mistake after mistake have plagued the Raiders. So while the Tennessee Titans are the opponent, the reality is the Raiders have to clean up their own act. If they can stop turning the ball over, especially in the red zone, whether it's their own red zone or the other team's red zone, if they can shore up things on special teams, if they can start not making silly penalties in key situations, taking advantage of their red zone visits. They were 0 for 4 in that category on Sunday, and making sure the other team doesn't score in the red zone. The Colts were 6 for 6 in that category on Sunday. If they could start doing those things and get out of their own way, it really shouldn't matter too much that it's the Tennessee Titans. The Raiders are just a better football team than they are. But the key is, can the Raiders play a clean, efficient game? If they can, they should win this game going away. If they don't, it could be more of the same, and that's another loss, which would be the 5th straight by the Raiders this year.
Now, we've already mentioned the quarterback for the Titans. Now, let's take a look at one of his weapons. That weapon, Calvin Ridley. Now, Ridley was Ward's top target against the Cardinals in Week 5, getting 5 catches for 131 yards, the 6th highest receiving total of his career. Now, Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham gives his thoughts on the veteran wideout.
Familiarity with him from previous years in terms of the speed, the quickness, the ability to get vertical into the defense really quick, whether it's the slants or the seam balls, and you could tell by how they're moving them around. Obviously, the intelligence in terms of how they can scheme him up. So he's one of those guys, I would assume that he's a scheme guy in terms of you try to put him here for a matchup, you try to put him here to stress the defense out. So, I mean, very talented player with good speed and quickness, and, you know, he could beat you just like that. So you got to be mindful of that.
Now for the special teams, which have been much more special for the Titans than the Raiders lately. Rather than having a game-winning field goal block, Joey Sly for the Titans banged home a 29-yard field goal as Tennessee beat the Cardinals 22-21. Now we're going to shift to the D-line. Jeffrey Simmons has been having himself a year so far. Simmons with 3.5 total sacks this season, 1.5 of those coming last week against Arizona. Now Simmons is currently tied for the lead in the NFL in that category among defensive tackles. Offensive coordinator Chip Kelly speaks on Simmons and the rest of the Titans' defensive front.
I think Jeffrey Simmons is as good a 3 technique as there is in the league, you know, and his numbers will back it up. He can cause a lot of problems in there. Denard Wilson, their defense coordinator, does a good job of moving him around and not letting you always just say where he's going to be. You know, sometimes he uses a 3 technique, sometimes he plays the nose for them. I think everybody on our team knows who number 98 is. He's been a force in this league for a couple years now, and it starts with him.
Now we're going to shift our focus to the injury front. We've been keeping a close eye on the injury report and practice reports all week long, and we're going to start out with Brock Bowers. The Raiders' second-year tight end is ruled out for Sunday against the Titans due to a knee injury. Pete Carroll spoke about the status of Bowers after practice Friday.
Brock, we continue to hold him out. We're not quite there yet, and we got to make sure we're taking care of him and all that. And so we're working hard to do that. And that's what we're trying to ensure that once he's back, he stays back and he's good and there's no setbacks.
Punter A.J. Cole is listed as questionable after suffering a low ankle sprain against the Colts. He did not kick until Friday, with Brad Robbins punting for the Silver and Black during the week. We'll hear from Cole about his injury later in the show. We touched on Joey Sly earlier after his game-winning field goal last week. The Titans kicker is now ruled out for the game due to a right calf injury, and Titans wideout Van Jefferson is questionable for Sunday with an ankle injury after being a full practice participant on Friday. Now for some stats to look out for this week, we're going to bring in Heidi Fang for the hard count.
Thanks, Dom. Let's get the numbers going for the Raiders back home against the Titans this Sunday, starting with something positive. I want to get going with 10. That's how many tackles it took for safety Jeremy Chin to be the Raiders' leading tackler against the Colts last week. So for this season, he's collected 32 combined tackles. On the flip side of that silver lining, 0 is another number to take a look at. Last Sunday, Las Vegas failed to record a sack for the first time in 40 games. That ended the NFL's longest active streak of games with a sack. And 9. Yep, you guessed it. That's how many interceptions Geno Smith has thrown this season, and he's currently the league leader in that category, which brings me to number 38. That's Titans cornerback L'Jarius Sneed's jersey number. He had a key play against the Arizona Cardinals last week, forcing a fumble. That was a key moment that turned things around for Tennessee last Sunday on their way to their first NFL win of the season. Tennessee's defense also managed to keep the Cardinals from scoring at all in the second half of play in Week 5, allowing 21 points in the first half and 0 in the second. And that's what we call resilience. The Raiders will need to show plenty of that to snap a 4-game losing skid. Now back to you, Dom.
All right, we're going to take a quick breather, and when we come back, we hear from A.J. Cole after we got the update on his injury, and Todd Dewey shares some betting odds for Week 6. Stay tuned.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler. We specialize in natural and lab-grown loose diamonds, engagement rings, and custom design. If you're looking for lab-grown diamonds, we have one of the largest selections at the best prices in Las Vegas. We make luxury affordable every day.
All right, as promised, we gave you the update on A.J. Cole already. He kicked on Friday, and in the locker room, he spoke to the media about his injury.
I mean, it was really just about getting the range back in and being able to point my toe was like the big thing because, you kick the ball with a pointed toe. And so being able to get that full range and being able to have the confidence to kind of push off of it. Pain is pain, but if we got range of motion, we got strength, then we're good to go.
And for those of you who might want to put a little action on this week's game, here are the betting numbers from Todd Dewey.
The Raiders opened as 6.5-point favorites over the Titans before Tennessee rallied for its first win in an epic meltdown by the Cardinals. The line dropped to 4.5 by Monday and is down to 4 at several sports books. The total is 41.5. Sharp bettors are on the Titans in this one, including a pro sports bettor I spoke with who bet Tennessee +6. He said the Raiders shouldn't be favored by that much over any team after losing and failing to cover 4 straight. Silver and Black quarterback Geno Smith has thrown 9 interceptions. He's been picked off in 4 games and is a -150 favorite to throw an interception in this one. Ashton Genty has scored touchdowns in 2 games and is a -155 favorite, scoring anytime TD on Sunday. He's also the +390 favorite to score the game's first TD.
All right, that'll do it here for Vegas Nation Game Day Week 6. Thank you all for hanging out with us as we get set for the Titans. As always, make sure to stay connected with us on social media at Vegas Nation and on the web at vegasnation.com. Plus, check out the First and 10 post-game podcast. But for now, this is goodbye. Enjoy all the action, and I'll see you all next time.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.